Hey guys, I'm Zak Reneau, a senior kinesiology major here at Avila University, and I've played sports my whole life, but hockey's always been my favorite. And as I started following the NHL growing up, I began watching the goaltenders because I was a goalie myself playing, and Dominic Hasek of the Buffalo Sabres at the time quickly became my favorite. And there were two main reasons why. First was we had a very similar style. He was known for his unconventional, non-traditional, athletic style of play with no classical training whatsoever. He was seen flying outside of the net, diving across the net. He would flail around in the goal. He would chase pucks out of it, check players, even slide on the ice and flip players if he had to, whatever it took to make the save. But he had none of the classical training that most goalies had. And I was very much the same way. So that was the initial draw that took me to Dominic Hasek. But what really impacted my life was more than that. It was how he handled criticism and his drive to just be so successful and, in a way, prove that you didn't have to be some sort of standard to make things work and be successful. Now, just to kind of give you some more background on Dominic, but Hasek is one of the most decorated NHL goaltenders of all time. He still, to this day, holds the career save percentage record. He's been retired for almost 7 years now. He has 6 Most Valuable Goalie Awards, 2 Most Valuable Player Awards, 2 Most Outstanding Player Awards. He was the goalie the only year the Czech national team won the gold medal at the Winter Olympics, and he has 2 Stanley Cup victories to go along with that. And he's a future Hall of Famer. So we're talking about somebody that was very successful in the NHL. But he faced criticism year after year. When are you going to start being a traditional goalie? When are you going to stay in the net? And he always responded with a very similar response, and it was just saying, I'll start doing those things when I stop making saves and I stop winning, when I stop being successful the way I am. And that was what really got to me. He was saying, why fix something that's not broken? He doesn't need to change because you're not familiar with how he plays or you're not used to the way he plays. He was being successful. He was doing everything the right way. He was following the rules. He was winning for his team. Why change it? And that's something that really stuck with me. And he didn't conform to what the norm was. And you can take that to anything in your life. You can go from sports all the way to your education, to business, to social life. Anywhere you go, you don't have to conform to be just how everybody else is. You can be yourself, and people will accept that. And so one of the cool experiences I had, I've yet to meet him, although I'd love to one day. I did get to watch him play once. My mom always promised that she would take me to see one game of his. And before the Stanley Cup started in 2002, he was playing for the Detroit Red Wings. He announced he was going to retire after that series, whether they won or lost the Stanley Cup. So I looked at my mom and said, well, you promised, got to take me. And to my surprise, she actually did take me. So I went to Game 2 of the Stanley Cup in Detroit, and I got this pretty awesome Dominic Hasek jersey that I hung up in my room for the longest time, and anywhere we moved I always had it hanging up, and I still keep it with me, and it's a constant reminder of do things the way that you're comfortable with, and it's okay to be that way, and people will accept that, and you don't have to change just to be the norm.